What's going on, YouTube? JT is Born here, and welcome back to another edition of my Godzilla comic book reviews. And in this video, we're going to be talking about Godzilla's Monsterpiece Theater, issue number 3 of 3. I think this is the last one. This one is written and drawn by Tom Scioli, edited by Jake Williams, and production and design by Nathan Wittick. So this is the third and final issue of this thing where they're taking all these various literary characters and crossing them over with Godzilla. So Godzilla this time around is going to do battle with pretty much just the Universal monsters. You can, I mean, not the official Universal monsters, but basically the Universal monsters. You have a werewolf, you have a mummy, you have the Frankenstein monster, and you have Dracula. And the opening of the issue is actually pretty funny. So if you go back to like the original mummy mythos, like going back to like the Boris Karloff days, you know that they disturb the tomb and then they're kind of inflicted with the curse of the mummy. But Godzilla was the one who destroyed the tomb in Egypt. So these people think they're going to get attacked, but the mummy's like, we didn't do anything. It was Godzilla. I thought that was legit pretty funny to start things out. So yeah, Godzilla heads to Transylvania. Dracula has taken, Gatsby's girl, and he wants her to become a bride. Sherlock Holmes is also a vampire this time around. He's now serving Dracula, and, a lot of people are getting hurt. So they, make land, sea, air, all their means to kind of get to Transylvania. We have werewolves. They run into Dr. Baron von Frankenstein, whichever one you would go with. He's got the Frankenstein's monster with him, and they go to confront Dracula. And, Dracula's got, influence over a few different things. The Time Machinist comes into play. Dracula tries to hypnotize Godzilla, but Godzilla, bitch slaps him, basically, I think. Or something he bitch slaps him, which is pretty funny. But then, like I said, the Frankenstein monster comes in. Dracula's in there. He takes the Time Machinist ring, which can somehow allow things to grow to size. So when the mummy shows up, Godzilla now has to battle a giant kaiju-sized mummy. But that's not enough. We get the Godzilla versus the werewolf. So this is like that legendary werewolf beast movie, the Godzilla versus the Wolfman film, which was made by people who worked on the Toho films, but it was really an unofficial movie and has not really been released, but there's still footage of it out there. They used the King Kong versus Godzilla suit in that film. I still want to see that released at some point. I feel like Toho should just be all right, let's just buy it up, count it as an unofficial official film, and make some money off it. Toho, you can make some money off it. Fans would flock to it. They would buy it. They've been wanting to see it for years. So let's make it happen. So Army of Vampires, Jay Gatsby and all that, dealing with stuff. And then the Frankenstein monster gets turned into this. So it's like Godzilla versus Frankenstein, which was another idea from that, got turned into Frankenstein Conquers the World and War of the Gargantuas and all that. So yes, Godzilla is finally battling Frankenstein's monster, which is pretty cool. And then, of course, Dracula is turn me into a monster too. So yes, Godzilla is doing battle with the mummy, the Frankenstein's monster, the Wolfman, and Dracula, kaiju-sized versions of them all, which is just insane to think about, but it's also kind of awesome too. I was wondering, how is Godzilla going to combat the Universal monsters, basically? And there we go. So yeah, who would have... Godzilla's beefing with everybody this year. I just saw that they announced Godzilla vs. the Hulk. He's beefing with Spider-Man. He's beefing with the Universal monsters. He's beefing with Jay Gatsby. He's beefing with the Power Rangers. He's beefing with the Avengers. He's beefing with the Justice League. Whoever shows up in Fortnite, he's fighting. Godzilla is literally fighting everyone. And it's awesome. I'm having a big smile just watching it all happen. But then Gatsby, to make this thing more insane, also gets turned into a giant-sized version of himself. Literally has become the Great Gatsby. And as I'm reading this, I start to chuckle because I'm just imagining, the Baz Luhrmann version was starring Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm just imagining a kaiju-sized Leonardo DiCaprio fighting Godzilla, and the idea just makes me kind of laugh. Just imagine that. Kaiju Leo versus Godzilla. How freaking funny would that be? And that's kind of what we get in this thing. If they do battle, Dracula is kind of vanquished by the sun. He stands pretty much no chance. The other monsters are kind of taken down too, I guess, sort of. It's kind of a little bit all these monsters are kind of fighting and then things just sort of happen. I guess so. It's kind of hard to kind of make out some of the stuff because you kind of see the panel, Godzilla's knocking Dracula away, but then the Wolfman Frankenstein monster is a little bit muddled with some of the stuff that's kind of going on there with the artwork. But all that's left standing, Jay Gatsby is kind of returned to normal size, and Godzilla kind of goes off in the distance. In terms of the Wolfman and Frankenstein, I guess, he blows them up maybe. It's kind of hard to make out because, like I said, you see them kind of fighting like in the background here, but then they're just kind of gone, and I don't know, like I feel like that one's not really super clear cut. But yeah, kaiju size Jay Gatsby versus Godzilla, and then ultimately, you know, they go their separate ways. Godzilla still goes and just kind of destroys some stuff, and Jay Gatsby kind of goes back to his place, but he doesn't get shot this time like in the book, if I recall. And yeah, so that pretty much concludes all the stuff that happens within this particular issue and series of Godzilla Monsterpiece Theater. As you can see, we got some advertisements for other comic books. Mothra, Queen of the Monsters, really looking forward to that one, to get a Mothra comic book out here. Godzilla Heist, there's also Godzilla like in Los Angeles, and I just saw that they're like trying to like use those to donate proceeds to comic book shops and that affected by the whole fires and all that in California. So yes, this was Godzilla Monsterpiece Theater, issue number 3. It's kind of all over the place in terms of the plot. Like, it just keeps just adding more and more stuff in there. Like I said, it's a little all over the place with its storyline and plot, but you're kind of more here to see Godzilla fight, like, all these, like, crossover with these different characters. Like, like I said, reading the first issue, I would not have expected Kaiju Jay Gatsby, Kaiju Dracula, Kaiju Frankenstein's monster, Kaiju Wolfman, Kaiju Mummy, all doing battle with Godzilla. It's so wild and wacky, and then you throw Sherlock Holmes, you throw, like, you know, other Jules Verne characters and H.G. Wells' Time Machine and all that into this wacky, crazy crossover thing. This book did the impossible, though. It made me actually care about something regarding The Great Gatsby, which, you know, I'm not really a big fan of that book. Having to forcefully read that in school, like, I just was, like, miserable. And I'm not really too huge into the movies adaptations of that, too. I enjoy the Leo meme where he's, like, toasting the glass and all that, but I never got into it, or the Robert Redford version. I never got into that story very much. I know it's like one of those stories that they just kind of like shove down your throats and all that too, but they found a way to make me, who's like doesn't really care about that stuff, like entertained by it, by throwing in Godzilla. I'm just, like I said, Kaiju Jay Gatsby, I'm just imagining Leonardo DiCaprio as a kaiju fighting Godzilla. That just, and Frankenstein and Dracula, like that just, how much more entertaining of a movie would that have been if they just kind of went with that? So like I said, Godzilla battling all these, you know, classic literary characters, and, you know, all that other stuff. I thought it was kind of fun. This is my favorite issue of the bunch, obviously, because, like I said, I would have never thought to see Godzilla battling Dracula like this. Like, make a kaiju Dracula, fight him like this. I kind of got, like, a little bit of fulfillment on a few things, because there's always rumors of those Godzilla vs. Frankenstein movie, which we never got. Same thing with the Wolfman movie, which was, I guess, shot, but it was like an unofficial thing, but there's still footage of it out there. You can check it up on YouTube. I'm not sure if the complete version's even done, but I would love for Toho to kind of release that thing. But yeah, so this is a little bit of wish fulfillment for some of those storylines. And of course, Godzilla battling a mummy too. That's always fun as well. So yeah, fun stuff overall. First Godzilla comic book of 2025. And we go out with a wild one. So yeah, like I said, I enjoyed myself reading this one. Looking forward to whatever this year brings in terms of Godzilla comic books. I know he's going to be doing battle with various Marvel characters. You got Hulk and Spider-Man coming up. He's battling the Justice League once more in the upcoming Justice League vs. Godzilla vs. Kong 2. And then we got a few other like comic books. So it's going to be a good comic book year for Godzilla. And he's also just been in the big Fortnite crossover, which I haven't played Fortnite, and like I played it like I guess when it first kind of came out, it was like getting popular at like my friend's house, but I never really got into it. So I'm gonna be so lost if I pick it up and start playing it, because I'm like, I haven't really played it. But I kind of feel like I need to, just for the sake of Godzilla. So yeah, so much stuff to talk about. But what did you all think of the conclusion of Godzilla's Monsterpiece Theater number 3? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Post your comments down below. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends. Subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content. Hit that bell for notifications, all other fun stuff. And I got some DC books I got to cover as well. I might save those for tomorrow, or I might just post at least one of them tonight. Probably maybe just the Justice League one, because I have a few thoughts on that. And then I'll get back to the rest of them, because I haven't had time to read them just yet. So, but yeah, looking forward to all that stuff. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.